normally, throw the eyes in there this quick, but I'm going to this time. Let's look at it from the right. They aren't too bad. I might be able to pull them back a little bit. And this one vertex I might want to pull forward a little bit. Just kind of get a little bit better shape. Okay, now I'll go back to those faces. Control E or sweep. Use your right mouse button to shrink that down. Move it back. Just kind of flatten it up. Let's go back to the top. And yeah, you see the front of the head needs love too. Yeah. Interesting. So let's go to the front and shrink those down like so, and use your right mouse button and get those things pretty small, about so. Maybe they're a little bit too small now. There we go. That's about right. Right-ish. Okay, let's go to the perspective view, and I want to kind of adjust that whole thing. So I'm going to grab these edges right here, what I perceive to be problem edges. Let's go to the top, see if we can see those from here and pull them out. Nope, undo that. Let's go back to perspective. We better start with the top of the eye right here. And actually I don't really want to mess with the eye that much. I'd rather just start pulling from the head. Okay, those, back to those. Now the front of the face isn't all that round. It's actually based on your race, so to speak. Asians have more of a flat face, I guess you can say, where African Americans are, they stick out more. So I guess the Asians are one end of the spectrum and African Americans are the other, I suppose. Not even African Americans, African in general. Because that would be saying that Africans that lived in Africa was untrue for them, but, whatever. Okay, let's kind of tweak. Whoops. Okay. Now, I want to add, let's go to perspective and look at this, because I want to add a nose, like most people want to add a nose. I know that's kind of a ridiculous statement, but I want to get these loops in right. Like right now we got this this band of polygons. Whoops. Right, coming out of the eye right here. They're basically heading into the mouth. That's fantastic. That's exactly what I want them to do. But I also want a band of polygons that are kind of gonna, I have to actually draw them in to show you. But say this is the center of the nose. I want a band of polygons to go around into the mouth, like so. Not into the mouth, but around the mouth. And I might just do that for now. It's not really a good idea to weld that, but that's what I'm going to do. Actually, no, I'm going to undo that. I'm just going to leave it like that for this very moment, and just worry more about this nose. So let's take a division out right here. I'm just going to take it out to the jaw, and actually right about here, I'm probably going to find a way to terminate it right about there, and then I'm going to add another division that just comes around the front. Just like that. Let's go to the right and let's kind of pull that one in. Shrink it with the right mouse button. Let's look at it from perspective. That's fine. That kind of helps define our jaw a little bit. It might be too much, but we'll be able to adjust that later. And I'm not too worried about this odd quadrangle right now. We'll just, whoops, grab and move. I'm just going to kind of pull this down right now. It's not really, this is a deforming area, so you don't want, odd geometry, but we're going to be messing with this stuff so much that I'm not even concerned with it. So, kind of keep these things as rounded as possible. And you can kind of start seeing where our jawline is, where it's going to start going up into the ear. Not everybody does it like that, but that's the way I like to do it. I actually like to do it a number of different ways, but it kind of just depends on what your character is, what your mood is. all of the above. Interpolate, excuse me, these points a little bit better. Okay, so let's go back to perspective. And so we're starting to get the beginning of this loop right here. So let's finish it out. We're going to get rid of that triangle. Go like that. So just delete that edge or kill it. So we've got a band of polygons almost going around this way. Almost doesn't get them there though. So let's see what we can do to remedy that. I don't want to add ridiculous amounts of geometry where it's not needed, and I don't really see a point in adding anything right there at this point. I'm not saying that we won't. I'm just saying that right now I don't want to add it. This is basically right here, this band or this polygon, that's kind of the ridge of the nose. So just an FYI, it pretty much follows the cheekbone where the ridge is, the little bump anyway that you see from side view, like on a brawler or something that's really augmented. So let's go back into perspective and let me look at this geometry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all these faces inside the mouth that doesn't exist yet, and I'm going to sweep them. Control E. Use my right mouse button just to scale them down. That'll just automatically give me a loop right there, see, or a band. So let's go to the right, and I'm going to scale them vertically. And you notice that they're almost even just lined up correctly, because the bottom lip doesn't stick out as far as the front lip. So everything looks like it's pretty good at this point. Let's look at it from the front. And see how the corners of the mouth kind of fall under nearly the center of the eye? That's almost textbook anatomy right there. Don't quote me, because I mean, I'm not an A&P guy. I just, I've never even been to college. Ah, sin. You don't have to go to college necessarily. I'm also going to thin out this part of the face a little bit. Add a little bit better shape from this view. Starting to get some stuff bunched up. Whoops. Darn widget. I'd get rid of it, but let me show you something. You can get rid of it in your bridge. It's called desktop right here. You go to advanced, but if you notice, mine disappears on me constantly, so whatever. So let me just keep moving on because we're getting to where I'm almost finished with this video, and you can see we're getting the bands of polygons that I'm wanting. I wanted loops for the eyes, a loop for the mouth, and the nose is not such a simple region, generally speaking. But what we're going to do is I'm going to start defining some nose shape, and I'm going to see where it takes me, and that's usually how I work it out. So I'm going to take this. You know what? I'm actually going to take this all the way in around the mouth. It just makes it easy. And because the nose, the fatty part of the nose, I want the fatty part of the cheek usually leads into the back of the nostril anyway, so let's go to the right. What I'm doing here is not exactly rocket science. If it were, well, I wouldn't be doing it. So there we go. So grab these faces. I'm going to use a sweeping technique, so just sweep them out. Use right mouse button, scale them down. Let's look at it from the front. Kind of put those, there we go. So one for vertices, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shape, not a whole lot. We don't really need to define a whole lot of shape at this point for the nose. It's kind of going to take on a form almost all by itself. Well, I say that, but there's actually a lot going on with the nose. So, and the way it ties into the face is a little bit odd sometimes to work with. Okay, so let's look at this from perspective. Not a whole lot happening on that nose right now, but that's okay. Let's grab these faces, and I'm going to do one more sweep. Control E. Right mouse button to scale it down a little bit. Just pull it forward. I like that. I'm actually going to pull it forward quite a bit. I actually want this band of polygons to almost be a separator. So, one for vertexes.